folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our book for today is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Now there is death, sickness, things going very mental, and some violence in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, now, this story was inspired by this lady here, whose name I cannot pronounce. There she is. And the illustrations in this book are by Jim Kay. And I looked, this is called Candlewick Press. Right? Check. Just a moment. Yeah, Candlewick Press. Alright, so this is another one of those books that I've been seeing around for a few years now, although it's been out for over a decade, and I've wanted to read, and this year I finally bought it. Now, before I opened and started reading, and before I even got it, what I imagined this would be is a horror story. You know, where there's a monster and only the kid in the story can see it, and he keeps calling him, and he doesn't know how to defeat it. I don't know, that's what I imagined based on the cover. So I thought it would be this, and oh boy, it was not that at all. Not at all. So this story is about a boy named Connor O'Malley. He's 13 years old. And his mom is very sick. She has cancer. And throughout this book, we follow Connor as his mom gets worse. And there's going to have to be changes in his life. And things in school aren't easy because everyone knows his mom is sick. And a lot of his classmates avoid him. Almost all of them. And then there's the bully that keeps pushing him around. And now, one night, after he wakes up from a reoccurring nightmare that he has, he sees this monster who's this tree that he can see from his kitchen window. It's like much further away, but it's called the Yeet tree. Or I'll leave it here on screen. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But yes, it's this tree. So he's not really scared of this monster, because what happens in his reoccurring nightmare is much scarier than any monster could be. And now, as you read along, it becomes really early on obvious that this monster is not real. It's part of it's in Connor's mind. It's his mind trying to help him, basically. Help him come to terms with what's happening to his mother. He knows, he's 13 by the way. He knows, but he doesn't want to obviously accept it. And this monster is there to help him heal, to accept it. So he tells him 3 stories. And he says that he'll have to tell the monster a fourth one, sorry. And the 4th one's gonna have to be the truth. What we see is along the way Connor does some destruction. Because he thinks, oh, this is all just in my head, it's not real, but it is. He destroys his grandmother's sitting room. And he thinks, oh, this was all a dream, it's not. And he also beats up the bully that's been harassing him for a long time. Ooh, he does some damage on that boy. I reckon next time he's gonna think twice before bullying someone. That was a bit intense. Yeah, and he has to, with these stories, what he's trying to tell himself is that life isn't always that easy. And because you've done one bad thing doesn't make you the bad guy. You know, basically a lot of these life lessons, which Connor gets mad at because he said the story is stupid. You know, how's there no bad guy? Watson, what did you do? Sorry. So yes, and it ends with Connor finally admitting to himself, and so this nightmare that he kept having all this time that terrified him is him letting his mom go. And he doesn't want to let her go, but he also wants to. He wants it to end. Not his mom, but he wants to. Again, you know, you live with someone who's very sick, and it drains you as well. And it is all very hard on him. He just wants it to end. He doesn't want his mom to leave him, but he can't admit to himself, and he thinks he's bad because he thinks like that. And he wants to get punished. Like after he beats up that bully kid, he's like, oh, finally, you know, the headmistress is going to punish him, but she doesn't. And he doesn't get punished for destroying his grandmother's sitting room because his father, his parents are divorced. But his father says, what would be the point? Because he's about to lose his mom, that's not the important thing. At the end of it, he goes again to the yew tree saying, you promised you would heal my mother, but you didn't. And the monster said, well, I'm not here to heal your mother. I came here to heal you. And his mom has been kind of lying to him all along, saying, oh, you know, I'll get better. Now, she did believe it somewhat, you know, for his sake, but she was not going to get better. At the end of the story, his grandmother finally finds him under the yew tree, and they both go back to the hospital. His mom is still somewhat alive, and that's where the story ends. And this was an amazing read, really fucking sad but amazing. Just the way it went, to see how Connor, you know, how he lives his life, and he's very isolated. He actually has a best friend, Lily, that he doesn't talk to her anymore because she told people about his mom, and then just spread. Which I think eventually the children would have found out anyway. It looks like his school is very small because everyone's avoiding him. I imagine in a large school this wouldn't be much the case, but I don't know. This isn't Britain, so maybe it's different. Yes, this is so sad. I almost cried 3 times while reading this. It's fucking hits you right in the heart with that. But you know, Connor admitting all this stuff to himself, and the way it describes his mom. So yeah, this was great. Really fucking sad, but great, and the illustrations are amazing as well. They really fit the mood of the story. I'll show you some now. I mean, it's not that long of a book, but yet it feels like a lot has happened. And you see, there's the monster. I think I can show you. This has been out for a long time. See? I love the illustrations. They're so cool. The art style fits this perfectly. Literally, the lady that inspired Patrick Ness to write the story, I think he writes in the beginning that she wanted to write this. But unfortunately, this lady, the writer lady, she also died of cancer way too early. She was only 47. Maybe she inspired the mom character. We don't learn her name. You see there's Connor and there's his mom there at the edge of the cliff. Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah, that's life, isn't it? Oh, there you go. There's Connor. The yew tree is cradling him. Obviously not really. This is all just in his head. the human mind's an interesting thing, isn't it? What our mind does to protect itself, to keep us from going crazy, or to keep terrible truths away. See, there's the giant, the monster standing there. Yeah, I think it's a good look at it and what our mind is doing to protect us from ourselves. As we say, we are or as they say, you're your own worst enemy. Or, yeah, because, I mean, you can understand, how do you expect a kid to come to terms with his mom dying? You know, just gonna be no longer with her, and he's only 14, 13. Now, at any age, I'm sure it's hard to lose a parent, but especially when you're young. Actually, I haven't thought about it until I finished the book, but would I have preferred this, you know, at least to get to know my mom and then lose her? As my mom died when I was a baby, so I don't remember her at all. So I know she was my mom, but I have no feelings towards her because I don't remember her at all. So I do wonder sometimes what's better. It's better to not remember or to remember. I guess to each person that would have been a different answer. Yes, this was an amazing book. It's also surprised that it was for children, although, yeah, I mean, kids will have to deal with something like this, possibly, so maybe it's best through a story. Yes, again, amazing book. I would recommend giving it a read. It's not that long, and it's written in a, well, obviously it's for middle grade. It's written in an easy way to read, and I don't know, maybe something good to give. Maybe not necessarily to each child, though, but maybe to some to learn to deal with grief. But I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I loved it. Gave it 5 stars. It's been a long time since I gave a book 5 stars. So yes, recommend this one. Alright, so that is it, folks. Let me know down below, did you read A Monster Calls, and what did you think? Did they hit you, or was it just, not a bad story? As you know, people read this and think completely differently. Alright, so that is it, folks. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!